Okay, YouTubers, here we go again. I hope you've seen my video on how to use major and minor pentatonic over the blues. Here we're going to review again how the different chords that you can move through, like these, actually contain the notes of the scales that correspond to those chords. So this one, it starts with G7, right? G7, A minor 7, and then B flat major 7. We'll do the melody on the second string. That's Mixolydian. This one is Dorian. So Mixolydian corresponds to major pentatonic and the Mixolydian scale, whereas Dorian corresponds to the minor pentatonic scale and the Dorian mode. Okay, so here we see a big difference here between starting with Mixolydian, because then when you take Mixolydian up the fretboard, all the modes will sound as Mixolydian if you're playing over a G7 chord, which is actually inferring the key of C major there, right? Okay, so Mixolydian, and then A aeolian. If played over G7, A aeolian will sound like G Mixolydian. That corresponds to A minor chord, or A minor 7. Then you have B flat major 7, which would correspond to the Locrian mode. Okay, the Locrian mode in what key? The Locrian mode in the key of C, because the Mixolydian function is a 5 function in C. 5, 6, 7. So that's what it's like if you add the bass notes in there. So you're just going up the G major scale. G, A, B, right? So there's B Locrian that's in the key of C major. But that's going to sound as G Mixolydian over a G major blues, meaning G blues that has 1, 4, and 5 that are all dominant voices. Now, because of this, if you opt not to take a modal approach, then we can just arpeggiate all 4 of the chords. So you're going to play G dominant 7 over G, and then C dominant 7 over C, and of course D dominant 7th over D. So those are really the important tones, harmonic tones that exist within the Mixolydian mode. And then with the Dorian, you have the minor 7th arpeggio. If we're doing all minor blues, like the Thrill Is Gone blues, then every chord will use the minor 7th arpeggio. But these get mixed around a lot, right? So depends on which scale you're deciding to use over given situations. But if you treat these chords like a bebop player, then the chords themselves are going to determine what arpeggio you play. If you play G minor 7 to C9, it's going to be a minor 7 arpeggio moving to a major. So the chord type has to agree with the arpeggio. But you hear a lot of these type of riffs in the blues. In other words, riffs that are derived from arpeggios. 1, 3, right? 1, 7 passing tone moving to the dominant 7, right? There again, 1, 7 passing tone, flat 7. So the passing tones are interesting as well, because then we can take more of a Charlie Christian type approach, which B.B. King used to do quite frequently. So here, like, you have the dominant 7 arpeggio we discussed earlier. So you can play all the chromatic tones. You can play scale tone, there's a scale tone in between 1 and 3, and there's a bunch of chromatic tones as well. Or you could play a scale tone, and then a chromatic tone. And there's 3 and 5. 5 and flat 7. Flat 7 and 8. And then again, you just repeat the same thing on the next octave. 1, 3, 3 and 5. 5 and flat 7, flat 7, and 1, or 8, right? So, and then the same technique can be used in the minor tonality as well. But it's 1 and flat 3, right? And then flat 3 and 5. 5 and flat 7, and then again, flat 7 and 1 that are borrowed from the dominant 7 chord, or the minor 7 chord. Okay, so you have a couple different options there. One of the keys then to being able to play over the blues changes and have several options available to you is learning the modes, learning the chords that correspond with the modes, and then learning the arpeggios as well. So the pentatonics also, all the pentatonic scales correspond to the arpeggios as well. But rather than playing using like the pentatonic starting points, which are 5 tones, you have only 4 tones. G, B, no second in there, right? Like there is in a major pentatonic. 1, 3, 5, and instead of 6, the 6th degree, E here in G, is replaced by the flat 7th. Okay, so it's important to understand these differences too when you're playing over a chord. Like a pentatonic, major pentatonic does not include the dominant 7, but the arpeggio does. Right, so the next step is going to be to take up the arpeggio, right? Sorry, that was a 9. Like this. Sorry about that. So here you have arpeggios, modes, pentatonics, and they all coexist with one another in each one of the modal positions. So it's important to know where these tones are. And after you play through them a bit, you can start to hear where they are, right? Right, so now I'm playing like some type of pentatonic mixolydian thing. With the added chromatics too. So we have modes, pentatonics, arpeggios, and then chromatics. And if you learn all of those in all 5 positions, you'll basically be able to play whatever you want in every position of the guitar. Thanks for coming.